Yeah, I killed the Lich once on High Roller, and I wasn't really going for it, to be honest. I was kinda just playing.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I wasn't running for leaderboards at first until I was like getting a little bit higher. Like it got to the point where like the last couple of days it was like my homies were only hitting people once and saying go for it. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was really farming kills like the last 2 days.
Yeah. It was hard for me to get kills 'cause I usually play with a ranger, and
Mhm.
at one point, with both of us queuing together all the time, we were both number 1 wizard and number 1 ranger.
I think we can get into that a little bit too. We can get into that a little bit. Um like team comps. Perfect. Actually, can I see it? Give that list a quick glance. And I'm not sure how much y'all use the new weapons either, so I did feel like that should be brought up too. Well, it's the short sword, quarterstaff, and um, they changed the animations and added a secondary attack for War Maul, Double Axe, and they ch-
Morningstar, I
it,
believe?
Morningstar. They also changed, and they also changed the battle axe. They changed the battle axe default swing. Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm a Apollo, obviously. I first came across Dark and Darker in the first, like, public playtests, playing Ranger for the first 2, actually ended number 1 Ranger in the second one. Then I switched over to Wizard and did number 1 in the second season of that one, and just been playing Wizard since. Not much else to say, I guess. Well, me and a couple of my friends, we used to play New World together. Like, we got sick of that, so we were just playing random games. I forget the name of the website, but it was like showing off like indie games, small games. And then we just came across Dark and Darker. It's like, oh, we'll give this a shot, and yeah, been addicted ever since. Yeah, it was like halfway through. Yeah, I played. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Cristiano. Obviously, I got into Dark and Darker the first playtest too. Actually, it's kind of weird how I got into the game and how I started playing it. Cause like I didn't hear anything about it. Like I actually found it. Um, mainly it was like some friends talking about it, but mainly I found it through the Steam page itself, which I feel like isn't very common. Like a lot of people saw like YouTube videos and things like that, but yeah, I wish we could get a play test already, just like a full in length play test, like a month or two or something. Like,
There's gonna be one more playtest.
yeah, I thought there was one more play test.
Yep, and then early access. Yeah, they said it a couple times. Yeah, because they plan on doing the playtests like late April, early March is what they've said. Or no, late April, early May. Sorry, or the early access. That's early access. Well, I mean, this playtest didn't add a whole bunch, like gameplay wise, but a lot of the like quality of life changes were nice. Like using the trade post, I usually stay away from it because I just prefer to just rush PvP and get kills, and it's very time consuming being in the trade post. But yeah, it's improved a lot though. It made it a lot easier.
I feel like I actually liked it. I feel like for me, I found myself getting like Insta grabs. Like I'd post something and people would like grab it instantly. I think that's because of like the item sort though. Because I feel like some people were just looking for specific items. So if you posted that, you're like the only thing they see, you know? So it's like for sure. Yeah.
I think it was like 140. I know a guy who has 170. Oh, and yeah, 17 hours a day. I don't know. The last day he didn't sleep for like 48 hours. Most of the time, yeah. More often than not, I was live. I mean, I can't really say for sure whether I was stream sniped, but if I was, I couldn't really tell. Yeah. Mm. There are definitely a couple moments during this playtest that I was feeling a little burnt out, but no, you're good.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of missing something when I'm playing the game now. Like I do still love the game. I still like it as much as I did, but like I feel like I need something more now. Like we've been through 4 playtests. I kind of just want like some type of objective, just something to do. Yeah, like a skill tree, something. I was trying to find like I don't know. I feel like I was just kind of like meta searching the whole time. Like I was trying to see like the dream comp, the best weapon setups, the best stats. Like that's I don't know. Like I've always like Yeah, so on my Ranger, actually, so on my Ranger, I got Pestilence, which is a bow, right? So what that one does is it does 36 damage over 3 seconds when you hit. Mine had 48 base damage too, so that's a really good one in the end. And then the other bow I had was ooh, wait, it's a survival bow. It's a survival bow. It's
The Elf
called
Bow of Truth.
Elven. It's called the Elven Bow of Truth. So that one, it's like, so everyone knows that if you use the survival bow, it already shoots super, super fast. Imagine that, but it's like 1.5 to 1.6 times what it would normally be. So that one was really good. And then on my barb, I used Life After Death, or maybe it's, I'm sorry, I don't really know the names off the top of my head. Yeah, yeah. So pretty much, if someone would have killed you, it puts you to 1 health. You get invincibility for 3 seconds. Now using that, super, super, super busted. So during boss fights, so when we were doing boss fights, I was running it. So I could literally just sit there for a minute and like just like do as much DPS as possible because it didn't matter. And then my cleric would just big heal me when I got my invuln. And then we play off that.
Me personally, I didn't use any named uniques because the devs don't like wizards, and they didn't get one. But one game, we spawned in, didn't even know he was in the match, but like 30 seconds in the match, we are spawn rushing some people. We kill them, look at the body, it's Grimm's. His first game in, 30 seconds in, he lost to life after death. And no, Grimm's, he's a streamer. Popular streamer. Oh, well, he's pretty popular. But yeah, so we stole that. I was playing with a barb at the time, so he was running it. Uh, didn't get much use out of it. Undoubtedly, it's barbarian, wizard, cleric. Not even a contest. Yeah.
No,
No. Well, towards the end, we were playing. We just found people to play with. We didn't like mean to run the comp, but we did end up running it towards the end. But at the beginning, it was always wizard, ranger, and cleric, and it was basically the same idea as the barbarian comp, but I just buffed myself as the wizard with the ignite dagger. It was usually just protection and bless. Definitely, definitely not as viable as barbarian though, because barbarian is probably like 4 times as tanky as a wizard. And yeah, I think something needs to change because they are the tankiest class in the game, and in PvP situations, they can kind of deal like the most damage too. Yeah.
well, I don't know though. I feel like, yeah. I know. I'm a little bit biased, but look, so with good gear on, my base health is about 170. I get health back if I kill you, right? And if I use my ability, I increase my health by 25%, which can stack with another barb. So we can both be pushing you at 250 health, pretty much, right? But and um and on top of that, a Savage Roar debuffs you and makes you do 25% base off not even your damage, not even your flat damage, but your physical damage. So it makes you do less damage. I do more damage and get more health right when I push you in yell, right? But at the same time, I feel like Barb doesn't have as many tools to use as some of these other classes do. So I feel like it kind of evens out. I don't know. It's like Barb's really just like a one trick pony, right? I mean, we have basic weapons, we can't really block. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I mean you can, but like not really. I mean, I've tho- those are really hard to hit though. I mean, I've only ever accidentally blocked a chain lightning with quarterstaff once. Like if I'm telling you, it's super super rare. It's like a mix of luck and skill. It's super hard.
I feel like barbs don't really need to block because they have the highest HP pool, and I mean, maybe it's just my experience as a wizard, but they're extremely tanky compared to any other class for me.
Well, you have to think
And
though that Barb is also hard counter to Wizard. So one of Barb's stats, we get 100 base magical damage protection, right? So just 100 flat right there. So you're already doing a little bit under half damage.
Mhm. Ignite is if you are building it right, ignite is like 75% of your damage.
But you gotta, which,
Yeah, it stacks twice with magic damage.
but that's also what you have to think. So it's exactly, especially with your build, right? So your ignite's almost doing nothing if they're running that. Your ignite's literally almost doing nothing. So it's just like stabbing them like normal.
Yeah. It it's all their spell power, so unless they are building, like, additional magical damage, which is really what's gonna bump their damage up, then it's not really worth it to do that.
Like, yeah, I feel like that's also something that needs to be talked about because I kept hearing this from people like Barbs and other people I played with. Like, they kept saying that they were igniting like their Barb, but like, I feel like just haste invis is way more useful. Because I feel like ignite doesn't really change much because regardless, you're still 1 to 2 tapping, sometimes 3, right? But because you don't have any magical power, you're not. It's not really changing much.
Barbs have high base will,
I mean,
like,
yeah, but
so they get, like, 10 damage from ignite, and that's assuming that they are attacking, then waiting, then attacking, because the burn doesn't go off unless you stop attacking or you're really slow at attacking.
weirdly
I
enough, go ahead.
I hope that the meta is just gonna be based around buffs, and it's just gonna be like Bard, Cleric, Wizard, and it's just Ignite Dagger Wizard being the buff ball. That's my dream. Yeah, there's been a lot less success as people have learned the game, though. I will say that. I mean, it's not really cheese. Like, I mean, it's really easy for like experienced players to counter the build because like you can hear like the invis. It's really loud. Wizard's a very squishy class, even with 2 protection bubbles on him. So
To be honest, with
Yeah.
some of these like comps I was trying out, they were seeing a lot more success than they should have. I remember we were doing double barb cleric. We were doing double cleric barb, three wizards, three rangers, three barbs. Now that one's weird because three barbs was so hit or miss. Because we went through like 12 raids and no death. And then we went I don't remember what happened. We went against like two rangers and a wizard. It just went so downhill. But at the same time though, you know what I mean? It's like I kind of like that any comp is like viable in some way. Like you can make a fight work. You know what I mean?
I feel like rogues are the most underestimated class in the game, like by far. They are very good.
Well, I mean, a role playing smart can insta kill pretty much every class, right? I mean, like, don't get me wrong. There's been times where I've been insta killed, but normally for me, it's like they're so squishy. It's one tap, right? But like, if they like jump a cleric or like jump on like a wizard or like anything, the fight's over pretty much right there.
Yeah, I feel like that's the point of the class is to just you can insta kill any class. Just it's just whatever you choose if you position yourself right. Who do you want to kill? I feel like there's a lot of differences between wizard invis and rogue invis. You can't be sneaky with wizard invis unless you're playing as bad players. Like that's the point of rogue invis is to be sneaky and to get the jump on people because you get a massive damage bonus coming out of it that allows you to insta kill anybody.
And and isn't Rogue the only invis where your footsteps are like actually get quieter? And no, I'm not tripping.
Yeah, I mean you can make them quieter by crouching, but yeah, I think rogues are the only ones that can have like basically silent footsteps.
You know
I mean,
what? I was actually going through some content on YouTube because I wanted to see like a gameplay with some of the uniques I wasn't able to touch, and almost that's kind of what like threw me off because like 90% of them weren't just normal lobbies. Like I saw kill feed top right. I'm like I get it, but like I feel like you should be going stacked high roller. I feel like it kind of like messes with the new player experience a little bit when you're just like running super juice going against like nobodies. You know what I mean? Like people that have nothing, just starter gear. Like I don't know. I feel like that in a lot of games. Like once you get to that higher tier, I feel like you should go to the higher tier area. It's just me though. It's just my opinion. I don't know.
I feel like it's fine because like they're going in there, they're not going to be gaining anything, and they're going to be risking everything just by going in there. Yeah, definitely got boring very quick. Like the first couple playtests when that's all there was. Yeah, you're just rolling lobbies like geared out, and like 90% of the lobbies are just filled with people with base gear. Okay, what am I doing now? I mean, a couple times didn't have people on to play, so I just went like naked wizard into normal lobbies.
Yeah,
And
I only didn't go high roller when I either wasn't with my main team or like I was by myself. Other than that, I was always high roller.
Games because there's three of us looting it. We've got.
Come the fuck on, bro. I'm gonna fucking die, dude. This is sick.
I think they're
You need a better safe
they're a nice addition. They're like I don't know if they've changed it because usually whenever I do gold key, I get it when I spawn next to because there's two gold key rooms, and one of them has better loot. I'm like 90% sure it just has better loot,
I actually want
but it's
that.
off to the side in the corner of the map.
Mine
Oh,
So
you
does.
that's
mean
why
the
it's
one
like
that's like down in that like middle area?
yeah, like I
Yeah, I
feel
know
like
what you.
because one time I
Yeah.
think like me and my
See
group we
door?
came out with like 800 and 900
Oh.
gold each from that one, but the one in the tower it was like rarely like 500 gold.
I'm gonna be
Whenever
honest. The one in the tower for me is like also always garbage. The other one's pretty good though.
I feel like it's just because it's centered, so they put like worse loot in there. Probably the reason. You know, I had a different opinion on that.
Yeah,
A
actually,
lot of the time, it was nice to die because then I would have stash space.
I was just I actually kind of agree with that because it was like half stash space, half damn that was a good fight almost every time. Like I don't feel like I was ever super bad unless I like literally died to some garbage. Like there was a couple times where like I have a blue portal open, I finish looting, I go to run to it, rogue steals it, I die to circle and I'm juiced. Multiple times that happened. So like,
Yeah, I
so
think
like
that was the first time I ever got like super pissed at death. Was like when I was super juiced in like one of the first playtests, and I just died to like a base kit rogue two tapping me when my teammates had already left. I was just getting the last portal.
look, if he would have killed me, I'd have been like whatever, good shit. But like he literally stole the portal, and then I died to the circle. Like that's insane to me. Like
I was very happy with the number of rogues in this most recent playtest. There's not nearly as many of them.
Actually, I go ahead. Yeah, I just kind of hate to say it, but Rogue needs a buff, man. I hate to say it, they do. They need a buff. They need something.
I think the players need a buff. Because like, I'd be fine with a survival bow. The survival bow is terrible.
Wait, hold on. You just said survivable is terrible. That's a hot take, though. Survivable is
terrible.
good. It's good. It doesn't hit as hard, but it shoots faster.
Yeah, but the
I'm
drop
telling
on
you.
it is terrible, which means the range on it is terrible. Because
I'm
assuming
be
it had
honest,
a lot
right?
of drop off.
I'm gonna be honest, right? When I was using like the purple ones and like the one gold one I got, I was like, yeah, it's okay, but once I use the unique one, bro, I'm telling you, it's hooked.
Okay,
They're
well,
kind of cool. They're kind of cool.
I mean, that's a different story. That thing fires faster. You move faster while firing. It fires in a straight line, like, and it has. I think it has 0 damage drop off too. I think that was one of the things as well. Yeah, the unique one might be good, but anything else, I'd say no.
Yeah, but make it survivable, like Ranger / Rogue. Yeah, that could actually be fine.
Or rogues just need to learn to use throwing knives, like barbs have learned to use throwing axes.
Speaking about that, they do need to patch that quick. They need to patch it. So the reason me and all the other barbs are really using franchise, so I was bringing 16 to 20 in a match, right? The reason is, so we have a stat that gives you plus 10 axe damage that also works on the axes. So it makes even like the weak ones do 30 instead of 20, whatever. Increase it by 10 flat. And they also scale with your physical damage and your strength. So with a blue axe, to the head, I was hitting for 118 with the Francesca axe. And it says they do
Yeah.
25. I was hitting for 118 to the head with the throwing axe. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I said at playtest 3, like, because playtest 3, like, I considered barbs like probably like the second worst class, like, and fighter was the worst class in my opinion. In playtest 3, and I said all that they needed was just for the players to start using throwing axes. And here comes playtest 4. Yeah, I think fighter isn't S tier because they have a counter. Like the counter to fighter is just a wizard. Wizard. No, fighter counters ranger if they build right.
Real quick, while we're on the topic, what would you say like the tier list for class is sitting right now?
I'd say the only S tier class in my opinion is cleric, and then probably A tier would be like barbarian and wizard, and then I'd probably put like rogue and ranger on B, and then fighter on C. Because fighter has a, I think fighter because I mean maybe it's my experience as a wizard. I never have any trouble killing any fighters.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
And they just lose out in barb one, like in a 1v1 against a barb, they lose out if that barb is good.
Because yeah, I mean a lot of the time that's because like fighters like 3 to 4 hits is like a barb's 2 hits damage wise. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah, and they don't really have the tankiness to back it up compared to a barbarian.
yeah, even if they pop, I mean even if they're super juiced with armor, but you got to think though. So like if I'm wearing normally I wasn't wearing chest armor, I'm gonna be honest, but if I have a northern full tunic on, even if you're full dark plate, like really good dark plate, it doesn't matter. I'm taking less damage, I'm doing more to you. That's just what it is. I mean,
I like running Zap as a wizard. most fighters, even geared ones in like purple armor, I was two-shotting them. And then, they were probably taking like 10 damage from a normal ranger if they didn't build like armor pen. Which
Yeah,
also,
bro.
armor pen is like very underrated perk. Well, I have the numbers. Okay. Okay, so let's say you're a ranger dealing 100 to the head, and you have 10% armor pen. That means 10% of your damage is now true damage. So if you have 100 damage, you're dealing 10 true damage and 90 normal damage. Yeah, so it just converts your
Yeah.
damage, whatever percentage you have, into true damage.
No, that's why true damage was so good though, because it's like when you hit somebody. So pretty much how it works is when you hit somebody, right? Let's say they have an armor rating, you hit, it does the normal damage and then subtracts armor rating. They take that true damage. But if you have true damage, a percentage of your attack is just always gonna hit straight to their health or not blocking that sort. Like I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah, it's different per class. Cause like for wizard, the meta is stacking like if you just want pure damage, additional magical and true magical is like what you want. And then I'm not 100% sure on this for like ranger and stuff, but I'm sure ranger is like additional physical weapon damage and stuff like that is probably the best. If you wanted damage, no. No, I usually tried to get to like 40 will for buff duration because that was really necessary for invis.
Be wrong, but I think Will's better for clerics. No, it ups their heals more than it would up your damage. Does it not? Or am I tripping?
I have no clue about clerics.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong.
For, for cleric, I know you want to build all attributes, like 100%. For wizard as well, because wizard benefits from all attributes the most out of any class.
But I think all classes, all attributes is always good to have. I mean, like obviously you could like more like center specific stuff, but all attributes is like it's everything, right?
I mean, it depends on how much stats I'd already have, but like, well, for a wizard, it also depends on how much additional. Like, just a base wizard is one all attributes. Assuming I'm using a dagger, I think it's like 3% physical or 5% physical that you gain because it's already negative. And then you gain like 2% magical damage. And then you gain 5% casting speed.
Yeah. So actually, speaking of on stats for Barb though, I actually was running a lot of strength. I was running a lot of agility. I was running a lot of true damage. So with agility, I had this build for literally it was like 20. It was like 20 to 25 raids, something like that. But it was quarterstaff, agility, and strength. So I'm like, so quarterstaff is good because it swings quicker, you get less movement speed penalty, and its damage is comparable to like a battle axe, right? Depending on like what you get, like if you get a good roll. And this quarterstaff it had movement speed and all attributes plus 3 all attributes. When I tell you, you're able to 1 to 2 tap people that are geared. Like I actually have a clip of this guy. He's wearing full purple and gold. And I 2 tapped him, full purple and gold plate, and he's getting healed by a cleric same time. Still got 2 tapped.
Yeah,
Busted.
I was I was running in a group and I was just full buffing our barbarian. He was running that. It was not fair.
And it has almost no movement speed penalty. It's the same as like a shirt. It's like minus
Yeah, it's
10.
like a spell book. Literally, it is. Uh, there was definitely a lot less legendaries that I found from killing players this playtest, and my only assumption is that it's because of the Valentine shop. So like legendaries felt more special, and I feel like that like going forward is going to be a good thing.
I feel like I don't know. Actually kind of liked that he only sold purples. I didn't really like the fact that you could just buy a legendary in the shop. I mean, like, because I mean, technically you can get uniques from the shop, right? But it's just like such a low chance. Because I mean, from like Goblin Trader, right? But like even still, I feel like so it's completely random. So it can be any rarity with any stats, any color.
I heard of
Because
someone
like
getting a legendary, but I didn't hear nothing about a unique.
yeah, somebody pulled so, yeah somebody pulled a unique spear.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I like how he's more than just jewelry now. He's more than just jewelry. Yeah, but like I said, I just don't really like the idea of you being able to buy legendaries. I like how he's just perp though.
I feel like candy was used more as a substitute for gold, just for stash space. I think I I think at one point I had like at the end of the playtest I think I had like 18,000 gold worth of candy. Totally didn't just get given it all. Definitely not.
Nah, I feel like yeah, for them it was like usually selling people would be posting to sell them for like 25, but people posting to buy were always like 15.
I only ever saw 20 for both. One of my
Yeah.
friends was having internet issues, and I think that's what caused it. Is like DCing, and so it happened to him a couple times. Yeah, I saw a clip. Some guy, he died in like crazy good gear, and then when he got back to his stash, he had all of his gear on that he lost.
I actually had that to the next level. So I killed a bunch of people in the raid. I was super stacked, and my inventory was full. And I died to the storm because I DC'd. When I got back on, I'm in lobby with all this stuff from the raid and my whole outfit, even though I died.
Hmm. I think the armor needs to be cheaper in some way because current prices, like it, and like prices are based off of like how much people are mining, you know. And if you were to buy like the average price, I think from the few times that I went in there to buy some stuff, it was like 50 gold per ore. And I think I mathed it out and it was close to like 2,000 gold just for a hood, like a ruby silver hood, which is one of the cheapest items. And that for a purple that could roll terribly is just, it's not good. So I don't know if they need to maybe change the stat that it bases off of, or maybe had a flat line for how much time it takes to mine. Because I think people avoid it just because of how long it takes. Maybe it could scale off of strength and resourcefulness. I don't know. Yeah, well, at least it can stack up to 5.
You know, even if you didn't change the speed at all, and you just like lowered the size to like 2 vertical slots instead of 4, I don't know. It would be a little bit more viable. I don't know because it's just like the amount of time it takes. You can't fit much in your inventory. It's just like I don't know. Kind of leaves it like a bad taste in my mouth every time. I'm like, damn, maybe I'll mine a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of avoided it altogether, but it did seem like there were more like mining nodes. Maybe it's just because there's blue ones now as well. It felt like there were more.
Oh, no, there was for sure more. 1,000% more. It had to. It might. I'm saying maybe it's just because there's cobalt too, but like it felt like there was a lot more in general. I don't know. $11.
Yeah, we only killed them once.
Wait, were you not really pushing boss fights, or was it because you just weren't going for it?
No, we weren't really pushing it. Well, at one point, my friend wanted to do them. We had never done them before, so we went into normal a couple times, did those bosses, and then we went into High Roller, wiped on the Ghost King once, and rolled the Lich, and they were like, "Oh, we can do the Ghost King now," and then Ghost King kills again.
Ghost King, I'm gonna be honest though, because it's like Lich is pretty easy, right? If you have someone that can like pool, you just have a ranger sit there, do consistent damage. Cleric runs over whenever to cleanse or whatever. It's pretty normal. But High Roller Lich, right? Because there's black skeletons. They're shooting the 3 arrows. They're doing the double swings. They're running at you. It's a little bit harder, but it's still not that bad. But Ghost King, I don't know what it is. Ghost King, even if we all 3 had the mechanics perfect, it was still like 60-40 if we did it. Like, that's just what it is. Like it was still super hard, especially on high roller. He's tankier, hits harder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like my main gripe with the Ghost King fight is the fact that there's just an instant death mechanic, and
Oh, you
it
mean when he
feels
like grabs you and stun locks you and just holds you there?
no, that mechanic's fine. You can easily heal through it. But the one where he jumps up in the air and slams,
I mean, you just
like
gotta jump that though. I mean,
I know you just gotta jump, right? Well, I jump half a second too late. I'm in the air when he slams the ground, but I still die because I didn't do the exact timing that they planned out. Like if you're in the air, you shouldn't die to that, but you do. Yeah, I feel like if you're in the air when he hits the ground, you should be fine. But that's just not the way it is. Yeah, I know him. Hmm. Yeah, a little bit. Um, didn't play enough with him this playtest, but last playtest I played quite a bit. Like he was the one that I like grinded the last couple hours with to get number one, and I mean he was a really good fucking cleric. I'd say rate him a 7 out of 10. The only reason it's not more is because he used his buffs too often, which is
like why am I bubbled? We don't even have eyes.
yeah. But I mean, we have a bunch of campfires. It's not really gonna be an issue. I don't think hackers are gonna be ruining the leaderboards at all. Like they get caught quick enough that it's not gonna be an issue.
Actually,
But
speaking about leaderboard, do y'all feel that kills should be counted in normals and high roller, like two leaderboards?
no, I don't think it should. Yeah, I like the way leaderboards are now, but for like something like early access when it's gonna be longer than like a week, I think something needs to be changed. Like, and the devs think something needs to be changed. They've said it. So like either like the last weeks of the wipe or whatever they do a leaderboards. I think that could be good, or like an actual ranking system instead of just like oh who played more,
Yeah, I
and
know.
instead it's like who played better.
There was a couple people saying that they also they wish that their kills in high rollers counted even if they didn't portal out. How do y'all feel about that?
I disagree with that because I think that was an issue from like the first couple of playtests where people were just like going in naked, like rushing kills, and then if they die, like oh well, who cares?
Actually, yeah, I did. Um, so it's a secondary sword, right? So like when I played with fighters, so like fighter replaces shield, obviously ranger you can dual wield with it. Like rapier short sword, that was actually a pretty good combo. I don't know, I feel like it attacks quick. The damage is similar to arming sword. It's like a faster arming sword. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I would put it somewhere in between like arming sword and rapier, like in terms of like how good it is, but I don't think it's not best in slot for sure. I don't even think it's top 3 in slot. It's just kind of bad.
I use it a little bit when I played ranger. Um, I think the only reason I used it is because it's the only offhand melee weapon ranger can use. and I just don't think it's good. Its damage is too low. If I have an arming sword in my hand and a short sword, I have no reason to use a short sword.
But you know you can swing both at the same time, right? For a faster swing pattern.
Well, it's not like at the same time exactly. It's like alternating animations or whatever.
Yeah. So but the high attack speed is always going to be better on fighter because they have the skill that's like consecutive hits do more damage. So like the faster attack speed, more hits they can get off, the more damage they're doing.
Yeah, I also used it on fighter. But
Ooh, I would
Sure.
say I'm gonna be weird. I'm gonna be real weird about this. So like, obviously, like shield, you should 9 times out of 10 have a shield. But I would say like if I feel like if you want to play fighter more aggressive, it's always gonna be halberd or longsword. Longsword feels really good when you hit a riposte. Feels really good. Feels really good. And halberd, it just has that reach you need. I would say it's between halberd and longsword, like pure DPS, halberd or longsword. But if you're talking like overall, probably yeah, Falchion with the shield.
yeah, I think someone did the test, and Falchion is actually the highest DPS damage weapon on fighter. But I mean, I'd agree though. My favorite weapon on fighter, whenever I play fighter, I always go longsword. I love that weapon. Hmm.
I wish I was actually able to use the Fulgore though, because I wasn't able the Fulgore. It's the unique named longsword. It does like the lightning damage, shoots the lightning strike down every time, every swing. It's busted. I wasn't able to test it though. My buddy had one, but he died with it before he was able to let me borrow it.
High Roller Lich is definitely like compared to
Super
Ghost King at
doable.
least, it's very easy. I mean, on High Roller, it's guaranteed like all legendaries. It doesn't drop below legendary.
I'm not sure if Ghost King has like better loot, but every time I've killed Ghost King, the loot's been way better. It's just what it is. Like better rolls, like stat wise on the items. Like technically, I've gotten better stuff from High Roller Lich, but Ghost King, the rolls are it's always God rolls, give or take.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually made him drop better loot because I think he's considered the harder boss. And if they did that same thing for like the golden keys, I wouldn't be surprised.
Were you able to use Skull Key at all?
Never even saw one this playtest. The
Wait,
only
you
time I
never
ever, the only time I ever saw one was playtest 2.
actually had one this season, and I died. I died with it, and somebody got it. And then I saw a YouTube video, and he said, I actually got this key from my friend. And he said, the person, and that's the dude that killed me, bro. So my skull key transferred down the pipeline to somebody, bro. And they made a video with it.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is not even. I don't think it's even worth 600 gold to be honest.
no, I don't
From the
know.
loot that I've seen
Skull
two.
keys, skull keys,
Okay.
way rarer though. And but the loot is hit or miss. You're right.
I've seen 2 videos of people going into Skull Key Room this last playtest, and both times there's just nothing.
No, there's
No.
no horde pile. It's 8 chests. 3 of them are gold chest. And then there's also like a podium in the center of the room that spawns a random weapon.
And I think
Also-
that weapon can be unique, but it's like a 1% chance. The 2 times I saw it was blue.
Imagine you win in there and it's just like a named unique there. That would be. I know you could just get them from bosses, but that should be crazy. It'd be super crazy. Or like, I feel like I feel like the goblins are a little bit like overpowered. They feel almost like not health wise, but damage wise, they feel almost like high roller enemies. Because if you go in with starter gear, right? Um, the starter gear barb, I can only take 2 hits from one of the goblins because their knife damage plus their poison will get me to 1 tap, literally. From like 2 to 3 stabs. It's ridiculous. It's super
Yeah.
dumb. The archers will 2 tap me. The shaman will 2 to 3 tap me. Like they just do so much damage. I feel like if they did a little bit less damage, it would be perfect.
The one
Yeah.
time I went in there as a wizard, I got hit by a shaman, took out 80% of my HP.
And it's
One hit.
busted, bro. I'm telling you, they're busted, bro. And they're always in huge groups too. So I have to kill multiple. It's like, I don't know. The boss though. The boss felt good, but took his health, it's like he has a lot of health. And his attack patterns are kind of predictable because like he has like a low swing you can jump and a high swing you can duck, but you have like a split second to see which one he's doing or you're dead. He'll scream at you, which slows you. Then he'll run at you. You can't run away, and then you either have to duck or jump perfectly on time or you're dead. So I mean, it's not hard, but like it took me like the first try literally took me like 23 attempts to kill him, like literally 23
Yeah.
attempts, and it took almost 300 arrows from a starter ranger bow. It was a little bit under 300 arrows.
Me personally, I don't
Yes.
like the fact that the boss is just a one-shot kill, like almost no matter what. Like I saw a geared barb go in there with a protection potion, and he got put down to like 2 HP. That Spud Hunter.
No. It wasn't Spud Hunter. I know who you're talking about because he was like trying to do the Pavis meta too. He was like teaching people how to block it with Pavis and shit. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah. Yep. I know who you're
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
I know that guy. Yeah, I was like, yeah, MGE. I think. Um, maybe the one issue I had with this playtest was apparently it wasn't an everyone problem. Me personally, I ran into a lot of hackers. Yeah, like I think like before it was even a known hack, we ran into the people that were like DCing everyone, like crashing their games. We ran into that like one of the first people ran into that. That was fun. I think that happened to us like 4, maybe 5 times. That hack, and then there's also a new one that I think like maybe some like inexperienced players didn't even notice that they're getting cheated on. It was like a desync cheat where like you were getting hit from like 3 times the range you're supposed to be able to. That one
Yeah.
was no, they're just straight up hacks.
So I actually saw a really blatant cheater. He was a fighter, and he had like constant sprint, but he was way faster than he should have been, and his swing speed was ridiculous. Like it was like he was doing 6 swings almost instantly, and he was just running at me.
Yeah. I actually didn't run into any of those cheaters this playtest. I ran into one last playtest though. Yeah. And I trust in their capability to deal with cheaters because they dropped a patch, and after that patch, I ran into zero of the cheaters that were crashing the games, which that was like the main reason for that patch. So
Okay. One
I feel
more
like they
thing
could deal
though.
with it.
One more thing though. I do wonder. What do y'all think after this fourth playtest? It's a fair price for the game. What would y'all think is a fair price for the game?
Mm. Yeah, I'd agree with 40. Like with all the stuff they have planned to add, 40 is a fair price for sure.
I'm sitting at like, for me personally, I would say like, actually, yeah, I would say like anywhere between 35 and 40 is perfect. Because I feel like it's better than a $30 game, but it's not quite as good as a $60 game. Like I don't I would say yeah. That's not what I mean. I mean like I don't yeah, like
Content, the content in it, in my opinion.
so I mean like there's games like I mean at the same time there's games like 7 Days to Die, which is technically still um in early release, even though it's been out since 2013. It's been it is that's like it's like 15 or $20 or something now. And there's a stupid amount of content in the game.
I mean, I wouldn't like it, but if they were to do it, they'd probably do it like on a per wipe basis. That would be the way I would think like this kind of game would do a subscription base. I personally don't think it would work. Yeah, I guess it would make sense if they plan on doing like content updates with each season. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But something we've
Yeah.
talked about before is like having paid cosmetics and like earned cosmetics.
They
I know
they've
you were
said
saying
that
you didn't like it.
they said that they wanted to do something like Hunt Showdown, which I'm pretty sure they do like paid cosmetics and then like a initial payment to get the game and then cosmetics on top of it.
I've actually had some time to think about that too because I remember 2 weeks ago we had a conversation about cosmetics right before the play test and like if they would be viable in the game. I've been thinking about it. I would pay for some cosmetics that aren't like maybe not like the skeleton or like the elf, but like something like customized, like special characters and things. What was that? No, or like different character models and stuff you could buy. Like, like really get into it, like do like even like some like collab skins. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah, this
not
guy
not
turned into
fucking
Fortnite, dude.
nah, not like that. I mean like no like some like something like medieval, like I don't know, like Lord of the
Like
Rings,
Witcher
collab
or
with
something.
like yeah, Witcher. Witcher as Bard would be so cold, bro. Like just like collab with some like real medieval shit and like release it as some skins. Like kinda on some Fortnite shit, but like not quite. You know what I mean? Bro.
Yeah,
Nah, it'd be crazy.
yeah. Like keep it with a theme. That'd be cool. Well, yeah, that's not like official pay to win. Like you get banned for that. If they find out you did it, you're getting banned. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So while we're going on this little hiatus from the game, what are you guys planning to play?
Well, recently I've been getting back into Icarus. You guys heard of that one?
Icarus? That's kind of like
Um,
the Forest, no?
yeah, it's like a survival game, but it's not like one consistent world. I mean, you can, but it's more like you drop in, you got to complete a mission in like a survival theme. Pretty fun.
Is it multiplayer?
Yeah, it's multiplayer up to like 8 players. Other than
Well,
that,
I mean, if you're
not
trying
really
to
much
show me the game,
good.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, for sure.
Just let me know anytime. Um, I feel like my main game now is still the Cycle Frontier. I'm getting kind of burnt out on it though, so I feel like I'm really looking for something new. I want to play like I don't know, like I mainly play FPS, and I just want to find something that's like a different genre, like maybe like a survival game or like I don't know. I want something like cooperative but not competitive. Something to chill on.
Like Valheim. You played Valheim?
Yeah, yeah. I play Valheim pretty heavy.
Yeah. Are other people gonna be able to play it as well? Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you would have to find it. No one's giving it to you.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yep. Thanks for inviting me. It was fun talking. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.